Hi, I'm Lee. Years ago when I was in Germany, I watched my mother-in-law make chicken drumsticks, and all she did was get the Maggi spice with paprika for chicken, and she generously coated the drumsticks, put them in the oven, and they just went like that. I can't buy it in Australia, so a few years ago I started making it myself, and it is so easy. Once you make the spice rub, all you have to do is sprinkle it over the chicken, drizzle a little olive oil, and in the oven, and dinner is so quick and really yum. And this is how I do it. First thing I do is take 2 tablespoons of flour and put that into a bowl. Any flour, I'm using corn flour. Next you'll need paprika powder, and you'll need 4 tablespoons. And this also gives the drumsticks a beautiful colour. And then you'll need some chili powder, 2 tablespoons. If you don't like your food too spicy, just use 1 tablespoon of chili powder. And if you're cooking for kids, I would reduce that to half a tablespoon. Then 2 tablespoons of celery salt. If you can't find celery salt, you can use celery powder and then just add a teaspoon of salt to the mix. And then 2 tablespoons of garlic powder and 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of marjoram leaves, which are a really common herb in Germany. And this is a German spice mix. Make sure I've got my 1 teaspoon, yep. 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, 1 teaspoon of allspice powder. Now, this is optional, but I love it, but it's optional. I've made it many times without it, and it's caraway seeds, but I don't really want the seeds, so I used my spice grinder and I ground them into a powder, which I just put in the jar. It's very strong because I've ground it into a powder, so I'm just putting a half a teaspoon of the caraway seed powder into there. Just 2 teaspoons of olive oil or oil to bring it together. And now I stir that beautiful spice rub and make sure it's really thoroughly combined. So you want to stir it for a good few minutes just to make sure it's evenly distributed. And once you're satisfied it is, you can pop it into a jar and store it. And that's done. And that makes that many, which will do quite a lot of drumsticks. So I'll put all the spices aside and I'll get the drumsticks. I'll tip some of that back into the bowl because I don't want to contaminate the jar with chicken, raw chicken. So just get a chicken drumstick and really coat them well with this beautiful spice mix. And the thing with the Maggi spice mix is that it contains MSG, and MSG, a little bit of it's not going to kill you, but making it this way, it's a little bit healthier. You know exactly what's going in it. And these are delicious cold as well. So if you're going on a picnic, it's a lovely thing to take for a picnic. So I used about 1/3, I think, of this spice mix, and it did 1, 2, 12, 13, 14, 15 pretty big drumsticks. So these ones are going to be for dinner, and these ones I'll bake now, so I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Now this is optional, but I just like to drizzle a tiny little bit of oil over the top just to get them going in the oven. Now I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll put them in the oven, and I'll save this for my next dinner. And I like to put baking paper on the bottom just for easy cleanup. So these took about 45 minutes. They're big drumsticks, and I've also got a slow oven, but they smell amazing. And that's what they look like. They're so delicious. And you can also use this spice rub for a whole chicken. So there you go, delicious chicken drumsticks. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon. And the recipe is in the description of the video. Yum.